to miss their significance. The wedding of a future king stands out, but there was one event in May of this year which I believe will never be forgotten. After a century of direct conflict, bloodshed and political unease, and for the first time in her 60-year reign, the Queen visited the Republic of Ireland. It was a moment of huge significance, but also of huge risks.
The significance of that visit is and was massive. I know people have longed for a visit like that for some time. Timing has never been right because of either the security situation or other priorities have got in the way.
The first thing that I felt when I heard she was coming was terrific, but please God, let her go home safe. You know, there was that fear.
The Queen's grandfather, George V, was the last British monarch to visit Dublin, and no monarch in the 100 years since has ever set foot in Ireland.
It's also worth saying, of course, Lord Mountbatten, who was Prince Philip's uncle, was assassinated in Ireland in August 1979, which had a profound effect on the royal family. That was a very intense time.
There was an exceptional amount of security, and of course that's never great for the atmosphere that contributes, if you like, to a tense atmosphere.
I always thought, you know, it must have been rather strange for her when she arrived, driving down the middle of the road, where she's used to driving down the middle of the road, without people waving flags, because there was nobody on the streets.
The Irish had prepared for the worst, but no one could have predicted just how quickly the Queen was able to dispel the nerves.
There were quite a number of people who were not terribly enthused about it. And then there were other people who saw it as, I suppose, the final act in the peace process, that this was the formalization of the treaty that we had signed so many years earlier. So from that point of view, it was, for many of us, a very important formal occasion. But we didn't think we'd enjoy her as much as we did. I suppose that was the big surprise. And every single thing she did, from the moment she stepped off the plane in that wonderful green outfit, and from then on, every small little gesture in what she wore and what she did was setting out to please us. And I think we were just charmed.
The minute the aircraft door opened, she won it. There she was in emerald green, and I was standing there with the British and the Irish press, and the Irish media just said, "Oh my God, she's in green." And that was it. You know, from then on, it was a sort of, as they say in baseball, a home run.
It is wonderful that it happened in this year when President McAleese was still in the chair, because I've seen the Queen and President McAleese together, and that obviously is a very strong rapport, and it was lovely for them to share this moment.
On the first night of the visit, the Queen was to speak at a state banquet, and when she did, it was a revelation.
We were up in the gallery in the press area. I was there. I was looking down on the scene, and there was a real sense of anticipation. You know, what was going to be said, because this was going to be the keynote speech, if you like.
We hadn't heard her speak up to then, and we were waiting for this, and the first 5 words that she spoke were in Irish. And I mean, that was just astonishing.
Even saw the president, Mary McAleese, look around her table and mouth the words, "Wow."
Wow.
Wow! This is an 85-year-old British sovereign on Irish soil speaking our language. This is history, and it's not been done without effort.
We were waiting for the voice of oppression, and what we got was our own language, and she must have worked so hard because she had it absolutely right, particularly the H in acharja. That's a difficult sound for an English person to make, and she'd worked at it very, 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 very hard.
On the Queen's final night in Dublin, she attended a concert of Irish music hosted by the British Embassy and attended by Mary McAleese and the great and the good of the Emerald Isle.
Everybody knows by this stage that the tension can now be forgotten. The state visit has been a historic success. And so then you get this great outpouring of enthusiasm, emotion, really, relief, all of these things.
The atmosphere in the concert hall was brilliant. It was exciting. It was electric. You know, you could actually feel sparks coming. It was that exciting.
Irish broadcaster and writer Olivia O'Leary made an emotionally charged speech.
Here's a petite, smiling woman with her tall husband, a grandmother, paying respect to our traditions from the moment she stepped off the plane in her wonderful green outfit, making her way valiantly around all the symbols of our shared past, our shared present, in an attempt to build a friendship of equals. I was trying to be truthful, and all I was trying to say was, from our side of the fence and from your side of the fence, you know, there is a big gap in between, but you have done everything you possibly could to bridge it, and we know that. As she passed by yesterday, she waved at one excited youngster who I think caught the mood for all of us. "It's the Queen," she said. "Oh my God, it's the actual Queen."
After the concert, the Queen was invited onto the stage to meet and greet the performers. No one, not even the Queen, expected the audience to spontaneously get to their feet.
She seemed to be completely taken aback by the standing ovation, the applause, the welcome, and the friendliness. I mean, the true friendliness that came across.
I just remember her turning around and the warm smile on her face. I think she was taken aback by the warm applause she was given and the warmth she felt in the room. And she did have a huge big smile, and so did Philip. He just kind of went like that. Oh, you know, looked back behind. It was just lovely to see it. And it was lovely to see the warmth that was there and the respect.
This was for her. And I think it was the first time, too, that people had been able to show how delighted they were that she had come.
She did have a tear in her eye, and I caught that as she turned to look at them, and it was just gleaming. And she was touched by it. She genuinely was touched by the whole thing. I think we all were. We were all moved by it.